Hi everyone, Lee Magpie here, and today we're going to have a look at the new Jurassic World Dinosaurs Fierce Force Chialingosaurus. I'm hoping I have pronounced that right. It's quite a tricky one to pronounce. It's obviously from the Stegosaurus family, so I'm going to do a comparison with the Stegosaurus, and this retails for £14 on Amazon, but it should be, the original price should be £10. But it's on the Smiths website for £10, but it's not out in Smiths yet. So hopefully, if you want to wait a bit longer, it might go down in price on Amazon, or it might come out in Smiths. I haven't seen it in any other retail places at the moment, and it's very nice to see another new species what Mattel's come out with in this Jurassic World line. And yeah, so obviously it's not a new species overall, but it's a new species what Mattel's come out with for a new figure and toy. So yeah, the packaging is pretty much the same as all the other Fierce Force packagings and Dinoscapes packagings, with sunset in the background and broken fence. We've got blue in the background here, and I'm not really going to go much into the packaging this time around, but the figure looks really cool, and here is a cool picture of the figure in action here. Some more of the available figures here. I've done a review on these two, and sorry for my hands, I've been doing some repaints. But yeah, I've done a review on these two. I haven't got the new Dilophosaurus just because I'm not 100% keen on the coloured scheme. The white and red looks quite nice, but it just looks quite plain, and there isn't much going on for it. But I like all the previous Dilophosauruses we've had in the past. And as always, I always show the scan code because they're all compatible with the Jurassic World Facts app. So I always show you the scan code so you can pause away and scan away. But yeah, hopefully this will be out in the UK properly soon. I feel like the retail shops are getting them out. Like Smiths don't seem to be putting any new stuff out at the moment. But Amazon have been keeping me in check. And I'm sorry that this one's a bit late. It's actually been out a little bit long for the UK. I think it's been out for about 2 weeks in the UK and about like 3 weeks or like a month in the US. So I'm a bit late on this one, but I can't wait to get it out of the packaging. So without further ado, I'm going to get this cool figure out of the packaging, and I've got some comparisons with it as well. So everyone, I've got the Chialingosaurus out of the packaging. I really hope I have pronounced that right, like I said at the beginning of the review. But seeing it out of the packaging, overall, I think it looks really cool. It just reminds me of just like a smaller version of a Stegosaurus. You can really tell that it's from the Stegosaurus family. Even the coloured scheme with this like mintish green, grey, like mintish green with a hint of grey colour reminds me of the first Stegosaurus we got. And then it's got this nice patterning of blue on the side. Just reminds me of that first Stegosaurus we got. And then, which is very unusual as well, is I've noticed that Mattel came out with the new Allosaurus, and that had the front, well, its arms white, and then the legs the same colour as the body. They've done the same thing for this one. It's got the front legs or arms in another colour, and then the rest of the body in another colour. And the face sculpt up close looks really nice. It just reminds me of a Stegosaurus. As you can tell, it's got like the beak and everything, and it's got some really nice little ridges and like definitions around the face. And yeah, it just looks really nicely done. It's quite plain. There's no paint scheme on the face at all. There's no shading or definition, which would have been quite nice if they did that. And nicely painted yellow eye, but it just feels like they've just missed the mark a little bit on the actual face with adding maybe this bit of blue scattering around the eye. But I'm pretty sure that Mattel will come out with another version of this in another colour. A lot of people don't really like the two tones of the legs being, the front legs being a different colour, and then the back legs being the rest of the body colour. It is quite random, but I like it and I don't. It's very weird. I'm kind of glad that they've gone for like airfish colours, so it doesn't look too bad, but it's just quite random. But I think if they didn't have this pop of like this mustardy brown colour, I really think that the coloured scheme would be quite plain and boring, if I'm honest. The overall sculpt of the figure looks really nice. The sizing of the figure looks nice. And it's nice that we've got a new species, but I just feel like the coloured scheme is a bit lacklustre. So already I can say the scale to 1 to 10 for the coloured scheme, I'd give it a 9. I just think that it needs a little bit more extra. But yeah, overall I think the face sculpt looks really nice. I love the patterning of the scale detailing around the neck. Some crease detailing here. And even the legs, I do like the colour of this mustard colour. It'd be quite cool to see this colour and some browns with this figure if they ever come out with like a repaint. It's got some nice lumps and bumps and textures on the legs there. Let me just focus it in. And some scale detailing, and underneath the belly you can see it scatters a little bit more. But it just looks quite random the way they've done that overall. But it doesn't look horrible. It's quite nice, to be fair. I do like it and I don't. I've got like a little bit of a battle with it, if that makes sense. But I do like the scale detailing on the sides of its stomach and the side of its like neck here. That blue really looks quite nice as well, and just some textures look quite nicely done. And they go a little bit down the tail, and they scatter it down and scatter around here. And then the plates on its back are nicely sculpted as well. A little bit different to the Stegosaurus, because the tail reminds me a little bit of like an Ankylosaurus, a tiny little bit, because the spikes go more flat. And on a Stegosaurus they go more up like that. And the tail looks really, really cool. I just like how it looks like it reminds me of a bonefish tail, the way they've done it. Or it kind of reminds me of some like type of weapon, which obviously in the wild they would use these nice bones to protect themselves from danger. And yeah, it looks really nice. Even the little bits of detail on the sides of the like tail on the bone bits, I've got some like extra little bits of like little textures at the bottom, like you can see the growths coming through. And it's in this nice cream bone colour. And yeah, as you can see, the body moves like this. Which I'll show you that in a sec when it comes to the action feature. And I like the little bone colours on the two little spikes on the side of the legs. Looks really nicely done. And yeah, there's got some nice definitions in the legs and scale detailing. Overall, some nice crease detailing in the tail. There isn't no articulation, but which is quite funny is this bit of the tail is connected by being glued on, and then this bit's a hard piece of plastic. And yeah, the plates, I've got this like texturing at the bottom here, going throughout the rest of the plates. It would have been kind of cool if these plates on the back was a bone colour like that, like the tail bit here. That being added throughout there would just add a little bit more colour to it, and that's what I think it's missing. It's a bit lacklustre in colour, but I think they've gone for more natural colouring just because of it being like an herbivore. So yeah, overall I think it's a really nice figure. I'm not too mad at it. I'm just a bit upset with the coloured scheme. And I'm not mad that they've used the plates all of the for the rest of the body colour, but it would have been nice if they used this bone colour on the actual plates of the spikes there. On the back, I think the back looks really nicely done, and I like how they've added these little bit of scale detailing in between the plates. Spikes, I call them either spikes or plates. Just really nicely done. It's got a nice little bit of sheen to it as well. Yeah, and just let's have one more look at the face sculpt up close. It's got little specks of like a darker green colour there, and there's another bit on and here and there. And for people who are doing the scan code, there is the scan code there. So pause away and scan away. Now I'm going to show you the articulation, so you can actually move the head, one sec, that far up, that far down, so it doesn't really go down, but you can move it up like that, and you can move it side to side as well. It ain't got like loads of movement, but there's enough for posability, like that. And you can turn the head on the side as well. So it's really good. You can get some really nice movements out of that if you're doing play purposes and for photography. And then you can move the legs that far forward. You could pretty much go all the way around, but I don't like to do that sometimes on some of these figures. And you can actually move the legs out like that. You can go that far out, and it's got a swivel as well. And then you can move the legs back and forward like that. Pretty much what we see on majority of these figures. And you can move the thighs in and out, which is really nice. And the action feature is you move the tail and it'll move the body. It's quite stiff. If you try and do it on the floor, it doesn't really come off the way you really want it to, so you can make it look like it can headbang, like swift and headbutt, or you can probably do it that way and make it look like it's wagging its tail side to side. I don't really like the action feature. It's quite fiddly and it don't feel natural for play purposes, but I do really like how you move the body. Looks quite nice because the pattern matches quite good, and the joints blend really nice, so that overall looks really good. So, but for play purposes, that just doesn't work as well as you'd want it to. Headbutting wise, yeah, but if you wanted to just use the tail like that, you could, to swipe it up and down, and it can whack the predators away. But yeah, overall, I think it's a really cool figure. My overall thoughts on the figure is, sculpt wise, I'd definitely give it a 10 out of 10. Articulation wise, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Action feature wise, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. And coloured scheme, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I just think they should have just really added a little bit more pop of colour. And we've got, boom, the Stegosaurus. I'm going to do, this is the newish Stegosaurus, so I'm going to do a size comparison. I'm just going to move, sorry for that noise, it's a bit creaky. But yeah, here is a size comparison. So as you can see, the Stegosaurus stands quite big, and I think once I get my hands on a few of these, they're going to look really good in head, standing next to the Stegosaurus family. It almost looks like it's its baby. Obviously it's not, but it just looks really nice together. And yeah, and it's got a similar mechanism, so you can actually move the tail and the body well, it moves its body like that. Same with this one. And yeah, if you wanted the body to stay a certain way, you could wedge it and then maybe pose it a certain way. So you could put something in here and then just wedge it in. But I am going to get a few of these because I always like to have my herbivores in heads and they always look better. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Liam_Magpie. I always do updates on new toys that are going to come out soon, or just photography in general, or Jurassic World content and other toy related stuff. But majority of it on my Instagram is Jurassic World content. But I do mix ranges of toys on my channel. So if you liked this review, please like and subscribe to my channel. Hit that alarm bell for more toy related stuff and more toy episodes. Oh, sorry about that. And I am done with this review, so hope you can get your hands on this. It should retail for £10 in other retail places. It's a little bit more on Amazon. It's £14.99 or £14. I'm not 100% sure. But paying that extra £4, it's up to you if you want to pay it or not. And yeah, there isn't really much more I can say. They're still amazing toys, and it's nice that we've got a new species, and they look absolutely awesome together. So yeah, like and subscribe to my channel for more toy related stuff and more toy episodes, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys.